Hello, sisters. I'm a young female teacher married to a prominent man in one of the high-end communities in Accra. My husband works for himself, managing large contracts for the government. We have 3 kids who attend good schools. From the outside, our family appears perfect. However, my problem lies within my marriage. My husband is extremely frugal, aka stingy. He always meticulously checks prices before providing money for purchases. He even accompanies me to the market to ensure I get the best deals. Once home, he measures everything we use, from toilet paper to rice to sugar cubes. The level of frugality is frustrating, and I struggle to cope. My salary isn't sufficient to cover the extras and is stressful. Despite attempting side hustles, he insists they're unnecessary. I didn't anticipate this aspect of my husband before marriage, as he was studying abroad during our courtship. What should I do to salvage my marriage, sisters?
You see, this is why most times when people say, worry, we don't understand. You are dating someone and he's been living abroad, going to school there. Abroad. So it means you never really got to know him. If you are compatible, if you like him in every sense of the word, or at least for the most parts of the word, if he ticks your boxes, or enough of the boxes, if not all. He arrived and you guys got married.
The box was that he's an Abuchi.
You see, that's the problem. But then again, him being miserly or stingy is one of those things you can manage some way, somehow. So he's taking care of the kids. He's doing his duties as a man. He is working and you guys are living comfortably. The kids are going to good schools. So if you weigh your odds against all things, I think it's still a win. It's still a win. You probably will not get all the things you like, or you will not get to be extravagant, maybe. But I guess all the basics are catered for. So that shouldn't be a problem. I mean, again, if it's this is why some women even start to steal from their husbands.
Yes.
Because once you become overly frugal, and the woman doesn't have leeway to do certain things that she wants to do, which is not to say it's the right thing to do, but I suppose you should. Another thing you can look at is to get people to talk to him. Maybe his friends, throw in subtle, points.
Won't he feel a certain way? Won't he feel like his ego has been bruised? Won't he feel like that you've gone outside?
It depends on how you go about it, really. It depends on how you go about it. Like, you could ask some of his close friends that he's known for a long time about, has this always been the case? I wanted to just ask about something with your friend. A close friend, not just any random friend that he has. Is this how he's always been? What has been the way you've dealt with him as your friend for these number of years? Maybe somebody he's known longer than you have known him. To just figure out, but then again, it shouldn't be that big a deal. He's frugal, big deal.
Okay. All right. Olivia, do you have a problem with your man always following you to the market to buy the house needs? Always. Every market day he's there.
My marriage is different.
I mean
generally
in this situation,
he would usually go to the market. Like, he gets the best deals. Me, when I go, if there's something that's 1 cedi, they'll charge me 10 cedis, so I don't bother. But if I were dating somebody who was like that, I'd have a problem with it, and it will be an immediate red flag. I will not even hang around you. Like, that's it for me. It's a red flag, because it's not all the time, but sometimes you want to show the person that you are with that you love them by giving. You want to be able to spoil them. I'm not saying that spend all your money on them, but you want to be able to say that, hey, your partner loves you enough, like they spoil you. But for him to, like, mark every single city, follow you to the market, make sure that you don't even come back with change. And even if you did come back, make sure that you actually come back with change. And even if you came back home with change, he still takes it from you. And he doesn't, like, I would actually have a problem with that.
Measuring sugar,
like, that's like way too much. Like, it's just sugar for crying out loud. And then now the kids are also going to come in. And you know, when they start eating, it's like, hey, kids with tea roll tissues and everything. So there's so
they'll
much.
probably measure the tissue for them, like, okay, you have to go to
I
toilet.
know, right? And then they'll cut for
2
you.
boxes.
It's like, it's just too much. But like, moving forward, it's quite dicey because 1, he's not abusive towards you. 2, he's just like, that's who he is. And it could stem from a 1,000,001 reasons. It could stem from the fear of him not wanting to ever be poor in his life. It could stem from how his parents raised him. It could stem from the fear of not wanting to probably die and not have anything left for maybe his children. So there could be 1,000,001 reasons as to why he's doing that. Having said that, I'm not justifying or saying that what he's doing is right, but you need to have a conversation with him, because you're telling us that this is what's happening, but I don't know whether you've actually sat down to speak to him and ask him that, babe, when I was growing up, you can start it from your perspective. Everybody has their own perspective. Everybody's ideals are different based on how you grew up. So little stories like, when I was growing up, this is what my daddy did for me. This was how life was like when we were growing up and stuff. So tell me about yours. Find out how his background was, and then try and understand where it will help you better understand why he does what he does. And once you do that, you can also go to him and then speak to him and tell him that you find his ways a little bit extreme. It all depends on how you communicate to him. Maybe don't say you find it extreme. Find it's a bit tough for you based on how you grew up, and maybe your daddy used to spoil you. Maybe don't talk about your previous relationships, but just deal with him on a one-on-one basis. That it's very, very different. You wish that he wouldn't be as stingy. Why is he like that? Is there a reason why? You want to understand, because it's very different from where you're coming from, and how can you both come to a reasonable consensus whereby, okay, maybe can we just have sugar, and not have it measured? When we're going out, I want to be able to feel free to be able to go to the market. If you give the money, I want you to be able to trust me that I'm in the position to take care of the home and not to run your bank account dry. At the end of the day, if he's forking out the money, he knows exactly how much money he has in his account. He should be able to part away with some money and say, babe, get, and not hang, like, not be right on your neck to say, oh, give me change and stuff. Let him know how you feel, because it makes you uncomfortable. It makes you feel like, oh, he's really, doing something that, you're uncomfortable with. So until you open up, he probably thinks that is okay.
Right.
He probably thinks there's nothing wrong with how he's reacting.
There's something you said earlier on. You said he's not abusing you, right?
There's financial abuse.
But I think he's financially abusing.
I was going to come there.
So hold on, let me finish. So my thing is, I meant not like, if he's not physically abusing you, he's not being rude to you, he's not being mean to you, he's not insulting you. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from, like, financially abusing you. He's withholding from you. So it's not, from my understanding, unless I got it wrong.
Yeah, because he didn't want her to have any business. So
okay,
he's
so
trying to gain power.
She's a teacher.
So she's a teacher, so
her salary is not enough
for her. But that's why I'm saying that it's asemba no na yedika. If you have a problem, open your mouth and talk about it. So don't talk to everybody else except the person who is troubling you. So have a conversation with him and tell him that this is what you'd also like to do, because you understand where he's coming from, but you also want to be independent to some extent.
I just want to throw this little one in before Rosie takes her turn. You see, there are things that, for example, once you're dating someone, you're trying to get to know them, and you see those signs, you can quickly, back out of whatever it is you're into with the person. But also, it's not something that once you're married to someone, it necessarily becomes a deal breaker. And I feel like this is one of those situations where you can't really divorce someone because he's stingy. You can only just manage the situation moving forward, because you've already you've thrown yourself into this deep water.
Right. So Rosie,
finally, I get my turn. Okay, so basically, even though he was abroad, and this is pre-marriage, there are a lot of women, especially when they encounter men who are abroad, they try to be very modest to show that I am your homegrown girl who can do everything for you. So they don't test the waters with some of these things. I'm sure if the man is as stingy as he's saying he is, it means that probably the whole time he was outside, there was never a situation where he go like, it's your birthday, I've sent you some money, take care of yourself. Like he doesn't have those, he never did anything like that. He was probably just always thinking about, oh, I'm going to do things to get ready to come back to town to come and marry you. To do this, I have to put this in place to come to town, come and marry you. So you were also just looking at, oh, come and marry you. You never tested the waters because you can actually have a proper long distance relationship where you are experiencing everything except for the physical presence. So where he's involved in your life, you're involved in his life. Sometimes you do things on his behalf. When you need help, he's able to support you here and there. So you can tell that this person is somebody who can part money and give to you.
You can't really body odor and mouth odor. You can't tell if he's
but most ladies, it's like when you meet a man, especially when your desire is to get married, you see, you are silent on a lot of things. And I think that whatever relationship you have with a man, however you train him, or however you whatever you tell him that you can take, or you show him that you can take, unless the man is mature and truly cares about you, it gets worse when you get married. So if you are somebody who uses your own money to do things, and the guy says, oh, we need to, oh, don't worry, I have money, I'll get it. Oh, I have money, I'll get it. When you get married, he's not going to say that now that we are married, let me take care of you. He's used to you saying, I'll get it, I'll get it, I'll get it. So he will now be comfortable in knowing that, oh, my wife always gets it. So I'm saying that, look, sometimes when you're with a man, long distance, short distance, middle distance, you should be able to have a man do something for you to show that he can part with something for you, because love expresses itself by giving. Number two, there's definitely financial abuse there. Definitely financial abuse. Now, he's mean to her. Let me tell you something. There are some men who want to keep women in a certain space so that they cannot progress, because if this woman progresses beyond a certain limit, she will begin to have a say. So you are afraid of where the woman can go. So what happens is that you give the partner just enough to keep them alive, just enough to keep them going, just enough to keep the house running. Because listen, I'm okay with a man who says that, look, there isn't money. You've asked for 5,000. I can't give you 5,000. Let me give you 3,000 because it's not available. But when you have a man, you say, I went to town, I saw this, it was 100 cedis. He says, no, I also went around looking for, and I saw it for 98 cedis. So I'm giving you 98 cedis. Then you're like, okay, fine, let me go with you. Now, when you go to the market, he doesn't say that I won't buy this, I won't buy that. So it's not like he doesn't have the money. He just wants to make sure that the price that is paid for is what is paid for. And what is paid for. So it's like he's providing everything, but he doesn't want you to have excess cash. A man who is a man in the home. You see, when we get married, it's different if you're in the dating phase and you are chasing a man for money, or maybe you keep it. But when a woman gets married to you, her whole aim is to make sure that the home runs and runs smoothly. There are women who have kept money, excess cash, and when the man is in trouble, the women bring this excess cash to come and take care of the home. So a woman who is your wife is not going to take your money to go and mess around with. That money she's keeping eventually, when the need arises, used for your children. So now it's true that she's learning and she doesn't even want to do any business. It's possible that the girl was a teacher before he met her. So you can't tell her stop teaching, or okay, you do something so that I can justify not giving money to you, but because you are working. But I don't expect you to do anything more that will give you extra cash. And for me, that is a high level of abuse. It's emotional abuse. It is financial abuse. It is being mean to the person. That is my take on it. Because there are so many men who just cannot see their wives do better than them. Especially, and I'm sure the way she's talking, I'm sure she has complained about it. And that's why the man will follow her to the market. I'm sure she has complained about it. If you love somebody, you should, even people that we send in the office, like when we're in the office, oh, go and buy me this, go and buy me that. If the thing is like 8 cedis and you give the person 10 cedis, you also keep the change. So how much more your wife? I mean, so for me, it screams abuse to me, and it's not fair on the woman, and that's why she's complaining. That the issue about how to deal with it. Look, sometimes when these men are like this, depending on their ego, because this is a guy I think probably has a huge ego. I don't subscribe to going to tell, especially a close friend. Because when you go to a close friend, you see some of these close friends, and they are very funny. You go and talk to them, they will understand where you are coming from. But when they are talking to your man about it, the way, maybe they intend to say it right too, but the way it comes out and the way it lands is very different.
Especially boys.
So instead of looking at the content, because you, the ladies, when we are talking, you are explaining the thing. You are giving dates, you are giving instances, you are talking about how it made you feel, how it sat on your mental, and anything that sits on your mental health is very important. But the guys, Shade, bro, what's up? Shade, your wife can't tell me, say, they give them anything. You go market safe, you day in back. Then they go search prices.
Why they follow woman go market?
Why they follow woman go market? That's how he will say it. And all he will think about is, you have gone around spoiling me to my friend. That's what will scream at him. So there should be some level of communication. But me, from experience, I don't think it should be a close friend of his. It can be a professional or somebody both of you look up to. Some uncle of his or a mature person that he looks up to. Then can go to him and say, look, this is what is happening. And then maybe they can sit down and mediate between both of you and come to a conclusion. But bottom line, I think communication is key in every relationship, like we keep saying. So she should try and keep talking to him gradually. Like Sicho said, I don't think it's grounds to say you are leaving without giving it a try. However, if it sits on your like everything, the way the things, he's taking care of the children are going to school, nobody has sacked them for school fees, they are getting everything, they have to get everything. So wait, what is important to you is what is important to you, because when you are mentally stressed, you are not even the best mother even to your children. And over time, like you said, the children are picking these habits. They are also going to be misers to their partners, and if they are women, they'll be expecting the men to also be misers towards them. Then it becomes a ripple effect. It becomes a ripple effect. So I think that it has to be addressed. It's not cool. It is not cool.
All right. Sicho, you wanted to say something?
I don't think the letter was conclusive enough for us to be able to say that the man was necessarily being holding something away from her. In that, for example, if she needed something, she says, oh, I need to wear this dress to church, or I have a party coming on and I want this dress. Maybe he was necessarily saying he won't buy it for you. Maybe use your own money or something. Maybe the issue has got to do with making sure you're getting the right deals all the time. So that I feel like the letter was not conclusive enough for us to tell whether he was holding back from giving her the things that she needs.
All right, so
no, but the
listen to
that
this
you said,
okay,
you said the man was doing
this
all has to do with the family.
This level of frugality is frustrating. I struggle to cope.
Yes.
So you see, if the man is buying you everything, you see, for instance, if I want a dress and you're able to get me the best deal, then, but everything he said the man does, it was in relation to the family, as in the children, their fees. He never said anything about, oh, when I need something, he gets it for me. So even though he was silent on it, I believe that if he was somebody who got things for her too when she needs it, she won't even have reason to complain.
The bottom line is, let's get to know people.
She said from the outside, no, she said from the outside, our family appears perfect. However, my problem lies within my marriage. My husband is extremely frugal.
Yeah, so until she talks to him,
and
then comes to they need to come to a consensus. They need to agree, okay, this is how your actions make me feel. I want to be able to buy stuff on my own. I want to be able to go to the market on my own. Have a discussion. Until you have it, you don't know where he stands.
And I think usually this also stems from the dynamics in the marriage. Maybe he's a very older person, and then she's a very younger person. So sometimes when it's like that, people,
I think it's
but it doesn't matter.
No, because if it's an older person, that is when you ask.
Exactly. I'm rather thinking it's from a varied upbringing they both have. He must have gone through different experiences in life, which is far different from what she has. I think that's where the problem is coming from. But again, I will reiterate that it's not a problem, but it needs to be resolved as quickly as possible. For me, if I'm dating someone and you are frugal, stingy,
it's a problem.
miserly, it's a big problem. It's a big red flag. We are done.
No,
we are not going anywhere with it.
Because I remember
once we are married,
the dynamic changes.
For me, like, I don't think we are done.
Oh, we are
but
done.
I will talk about it like you said. And I think it's very important to talk about it. I don't know why people are so scared to talk to their partners. For me, I have been in that situation before. And just like Olivia said, it sometimes stems from how they were brought up. And I was straight about, see, I like to be spoiled. I'm like, what is, I just went, I told you straight. I was like, guy, you are stingy. I cannot do it. This is not how I was raised.
But the problem is that she allowed it to fester.
Exactly, it's festered for
she allowed it to fester because if they have 3 kids, which means that most likely they've been together for not less than 6 years. If they have 3 kids, it means they've been together for not less than 6 years.
At least
so you see, that's why I said how you start a man. Because there are some of us we've been through it, and those because you make the man feel like you are self-sufficient. I don't need anything from you.
I need plenty.
Yes, but you see, and that is why there's this thing by that they say that people who give,
when you find a man that doesn't offer, it's still a red flag.
Yes, it is.
Because it's indicative of the fact that
that is who he
is. He needs to be coerced into doing.
And there's this thing about a damsel in distress. Men like damsels in distress. So if you are a damsel in distress, listen, let your car spoil. And you tell her, baby, I have a flat tire. Where are you? I'm somewhere in, let's say, Shy Hills. Meanwhile, the man is in Accra. He'll go lengths to make sure he comes and rescue you because that damsel in distress syndrome is there. And that's what you are treating. Such a person. Do you think that you can follow the girl to the market? Really? No, but if you are the kind that anytime something happens, you fix. Light bulb is there, quickly you fix. Now that is supposed to be the real thing. But the moment, you see, just not even men, everybody, when you get used to what the other partner is doing, why do you want to go extra? And she's allowed it. Look, when she started realizing the guy was stingy, like you said, communicate. Let him know that, babes, Charlie, this thing that you are marking register, are you an accountant? And if you're an accountant,
maybe he's an accountant. I was going to say,
who has employed you?
Maybe he's an economist. Maybe he used to live in the UK.
I think he's an accountant too. Maybe so he's he's balancing his books.
And they say he works in a government agency.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard that men who usually have stayed in the UK are generally
stingy
than compared to men who have lived elsewhere. But here's another thing I'm thinking of. If a man is like that, what really, how much talk would it take to change him?
No, for me, it didn't take much.
No, but
for me, it didn't take much because
it has to happen.
For me, it didn't take much because as long as he knew that this girl, if I don't give her what she wants, she will leave me.
But here's the problem with this one. They are married.
Hold on.
They have 3 kids.
And so,
but
when the conversation
I don't understand. So,
and you know what?
Want to condone
condone what?
To sort of like have one for the guy.
We have 3 kids. We should. If I'm not happy, I should move on.
No, but you see,
but I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
You should be able to express it.
I am not happy. I'm not happy.
But even with the man, okay, now even with the man,
able to express it.
It's possible that because the man feels like once I can provide for my family, I have done the needful.
So on that stingy note, it's time for me to be stingy with my time. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.